Hello, family. Welcome to BabsWTV, where we talk about real life, real struggle, and what's going on in today's world. If you've been feeling like life been getting more expensive, work been getting hard, things just don't feel the same anymore, you're not alone. On this channel, we talk about a lot of topics: cost of living crisis, job market struggle, financial problem that people are going through. No filter, no sugarcoat, just real conversation about what people are going through. So leave your comment below and follow me. Americans lifestyle right now, it's not going well right now. A lot of people are not living to their highest level right now. People are crashing, cost of living are being insane every day. Gas prices, they saying right now before the gas price uh, to drop low, it's gonna take a year. So how long people gonna see relief in their life? So check out this clip.
What would you say your number one issue is right now?
Affordability.
Economy.
Affordability.
Protecting democracy.
Affordability.
Livability.
Having a future.
One word to describe the economy.
Stagnating.
Fair.
Failing.
Unacceptable.
Unlivable.
Atrocious.
Miserable.
The job market.
Fake.
Competitive.
Scary.
Atrocious.
Non-existent.
No.
Networking.
The Trump administration.
Disorganized.
Forward thinking.
Backward thinking.
Failing.
Authoritarian-like.
Complicated.
Uncommitted.
One word to describe America right now.
Beautiful.
Home.
Dysfunctional.
Unfair.
Needs work.
Lagging.
Proud.
What's one word to describe how you guys are feeling about the future of our country?
Optimistic.
United.
Possible.
Hopeful.
Careful.
Dreary.
Uncertain.
I did everything right, so why does it feel the same? I have a 20-year career, a degree, a trade, all of it. We're still watching every dollar. We're cutting back, thinking twice about everything that we spend money on. Why does it feel exactly like I'm in my 20s again?
Why is no one talking about how unaffordable America is getting? Like, motherfucker, Gen Z was single-handedly handed the worst fucking economy ever. Dollar McChickens, gone. Dollar slices, gone. Dollar hot dogs, gone. Gas prices through the roof. Rent, fucking don't even think about it. And I have 2 degrees, bro. I have 2 degrees. How the fuck can I barely afford to live with a bachelor's and a master's degree? Ha! All right, because I'm $120 fucking thousand in debt and can't get out of it. I applied to over 300 companies. 300! And I got responses. Not interviews, responses back from 11 of them. Make that ratio up. You fucking idiot. What is going on? Because if I wasn't doing UGC for brands that I found on SideShift, I would be homeless. I would not have a roof over my head. I do not know where I'd be sleeping. Someone help. What are we doing for work right now in 2026?
America has just become so unaffordable, and I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. Half of the country doesn't even have a savings. Rent is absolutely insane. Healthcare is a luxury. And somehow the narrative is people are just bad with money. Like, what money? We're working full time. Most people have 2 to 3 jobs because nowadays you have to. Like, at what point do we stop blaming the people and just accept the fact that the cost of living has outpaced reality? Because everything is so freaking expensive, you have to know exactly where your money is going anymore. Like, a budget is simply a necessity. You have to have one. I had to start using a budgeting app like mine to figure out where all my money was going. But it still does not make up for the fact that America is too freaking expensive to live in. If you're struggling, you're not alone.
Outside really costs $100 minimum. It's crazy. I leave my house and money just starts evaporating. I didn't plan to spend anything. I just wanted to get fresh air and maybe touch grass. And now I'm $14 deep in iced latte and contemplating $38 hummus. Every social event is a financial ambush now. Let's grab drinks. It sounds cute until you realize that's code for $17 cocktails, $6 sharing fees, and $42 in emotional regret. Even the free plans cost money now. A walk, yeah, cool, until you pass a store and suddenly you need a candle that smells like Scandinavian pine and validation. I don't know. Then someone's like, let's just Uber there. Okay, $28 one way. Should we split an appetizer? Yeah, that's another $18 for 3 decorative bites and a leaf. At this point, staying in isn't boring. It's a financial strategy. I don't even go out anymore. I budget for the idea of going out. Then I cancel and reward myself with takeout, which still somehow costs $40. I don't know.
So the other day, I'm talking to my brother, and he's like, I'm broke this month. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, how? You don't buy skincare, you don't buy makeup, you don't buy outfits, you literally wear the same hoodie every day like it's a uniform. Meanwhile, I'm out here budgeting for serums, foundation, lashes, hair appointments, a cute outfit for every event, and somehow I'm the one who's supposed to be broke? Or not be broke? It honestly made me so curious that I was like, I genuinely want to see a man's per diem for 1 week, just like a little sneak peek, because clearly they're spending money on something. I just can't figure out what.
I am a prime example of why you cannot afford to be sick in America. I have stage 4 cancer, and this is just 1 week of my expenses that are related to cancer. So, number one, I have to get my infusion, which is $500. I have to, before getting my infusion, see my oncologist, which is $50. After my infusion, I have to see a post doctor because I have interactions with my infusion, which is another $50. So we're now up to $600. Twice a week, I have to go to physical therapy because the cancer is going into my back. So that is another $50 for each session. So now we're up to $700. A side effect of having the cancer treatment that I do is your thyroid levels go out of whack. And so I have to take a thyroid medication, which is another $20. The cancer medication is also affecting my sleep, so I have to get a medication to help me with that, which is another $20. And all of that adds up for 1 week is $740. So that $740 is for 1 week out of the month. That does not include all the rest of the weeks. So times that by 4. That's why you cannot afford to be sick in America.
I don't get how people can afford life without a job. Because I can't even afford it with the job. Like, how the fuck is y'all doing this shit? Like, what the fuck? How the fuck y'all doing this shit? Yo!
How does anyone afford anything in this economy? I don't know. I think the same thing every day. I think it's pretty much, we rent everything. We don't own anything. Everyone's renting their cars, renting their apartments, renting their houses. Everyone has multiple credit cards. They're probably all maxed out. They're taking out loans. Pretty much that, or you're a prostitute. Or you're a rich kid and your parents have money.
You know, I'm flipping through TikTok here on my lunch break, and every 3 or 4 videos I see it's someone talking about how they're living in their car. How they work full-time, they have a full-time job, but they live in their car. There are millions of Americans that are dealing with the same thing, okay? It's not people here or there. You know people that are living in their car, you just don't know it. People that aren't bad people that aren't making mistakes or doing the wrong thing, people that just can't afford life anymore. Not because of bad decisions they made, but because the prices have just got so high, people can't afford it. People don't have the money to buy groceries and pay rent the same week. Car payments are as much as mortgage payments. If you want to go buy a week's worth of groceries, you're going to spend $600, $700. Nobody can afford that. My power bill is almost $500. My house isn't even 1,000 square feet. What do we do? The prices are just going up and up and up and up and up and up, and no relief for anybody in any way, shape, form, or fashion. America has become unaffordable for Americans. Our government is spending all of our money on a war that we didn't ask for and don't need. Our president does not care about the little people. He cares about his friends in Israel. It's not going to get better until we say no more.
He said, I'm tired of hearing about affordability. You know what, babe? Me too. I'm really tired about it. And my pocketbooks are too. You know, that's why I want the prices to come down. And my gas is not $2 a gallon. My red meat is still $20 for 2 little pieces. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of the affordability too because I can't afford it. But you know who can? The people who are building their brand new builds, 6, 7 bedrooms. The people who are building the ballrooms of the world. Those people, they don't know what inflation is because it's not affecting them. They don't have to go to Costco and worry about how much toilet paper is, you know? So yeah, I'm really tired of hearing about affordability too, but at the same time, guess who's working like crazy to even survive? Me. So yeah, I guess I'm really sick and tired of it too. I think it's just gold coming from the person who's literally plastering his house in gold. I'm tired about hearing about affordability.
I don't want to hear shit about young people or just not working hard enough. Come on. When I was 18, I had a 2-bedroom apartment in a complex with a pool for $450 a month. There was another place downtown where you could get apartments. They were in the hood, but still, you could get an apartment $150 a month. When I moved to rural Georgia, I was renting a 2-bedroom house for $325 a month. They didn't check my credit. They gave me the keys the day that they met me. When I moved to San Francisco, California in 1992, you could get a studio apartment for $450 a month. That meant 2 people could put together their welfare checks and get an apartment. One would live in the closet and one would live in the living room. SSI at the time was, I believe, $890 a month. So you could be on SSI and you would still have money to live. So I don't want to hear about how young people are not working hard enough. It's the fucking economy. It's the rent prices. It's the wages.
America is never going to have affordable housing again, and I'm going to tell you why. A lot of people in America want and need real estate prices to stay high, and let's start with the previous generation. A lot of people purchased their property for $50,000, and now they've seen it rise in value to $600,000 or $700,000, and that's a lot of money. And if we started developing like we did in the 1960s, we would see real estate prices go down, and thus their retirement would be in jeopardy. Local governments don't want this to happen either, because lower property values means lower property taxes, and lower property taxes means less revenue for them to spend. A country with ubiquitous affordable housing wouldn't need a mortgage market, and thus the banks would lose one of their major revenue sources if we ever started to have affordable housing in America. If we had affordable housing and American families could go back to being single income households, corporate America would lose half of their workers, wages would have to go up, and the IRS would lose a good portion of their tax base. So what are these vested interests doing to keep us from building affordable housing, and how much of an impact is it actually having on us? It's not that it's particularly hard to build affordable housing. Here's a study from the 1960s from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics on how many work hours it took to build this typical single-family house with 1,400 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Using construction methods from the last century, it would take a little over 1,000 work hours to complete the average 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family house in the 1960s. If we were to assume modern labor costs of $60,000 per year, you would have a total labor cost of $30,000 to complete a 1960s style house if you were to do so today. Yet the average price for a home in America today is $430,000, so something's not adding up. But what about the material costs? Well, the materials that we use to build houses today are cheaper and less robust than what we used in the 1960s. So maybe you're thinking that the reason houses are more expensive today is that the land costs more and we're building bigger houses than we did in the past. And you're absolutely right. But why is that? It is so hard to get approval for a buildable lot in America that when we do get these approvals, we have to put the biggest, most expensive houses on there to make the development make sense. Imagine if the government put restrictions on the number of cars that could be produced every single year. You would see car manufacturers put an emphasis on the most expensive, most profitable models and not worry about entry-level cars. And this is exactly what's happened in the American real estate market. It's why for $250,000, you can purchase an entire estate in our West African developments, but you can't even purchase a condo in most areas of America for that same $250,000. And this is going to be a big problem for business going forward because we have an entire generation that has to put up to 40% of their income into paying for a mortgage or paying for rent, which means that our consumer base is going to have a lot less money going forward, and that's not good for anyone. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that America was right to start restricting property development because of overdevelopment concerns? Or should we open things up and allow for us to build houses like we did in the 1960s? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. And as always, if this video provided value to you, give me a like and a follow. That really helps out my channel. And I'll see you guys on the next video.
They trying to say you need $94,000 to live comfortably in America. What? Who the hell they talking about? And then this study says if you are two working adults and you got 2 children, you need to be bringing in at least $209,000. Excuse me? See, the first thing I notice is they're talking about average instead of the median. The median salary for a single adult in America is about $42,000. And the median cost for a standard like family, right? 2 kids, right? Is about $78,000. See, this is the game that the media will try to play with you to make you think in your struggle, it's you. No, 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 boo. It's the system. Because basically, the American life is becoming mathematically impossible for most Americans to even live. Right now, the American economy feels like, one of those claw machines. You see the prize, you reach for it, but that claw never actually grabs tight enough to pull it out. So I'm asking, when you hear numbers like this, do they feel realistic to you? Or does it sound like they're describing a life that most Americans will never live?
I don't want to hear shit about young people or just not working hard enough. Come on. When I was 18, I had a 2-bedroom apartment in a complex with a pool for $450 a month. There was another place downtown where you could get apartments. They were in the hood, but still you could get an apartment $150 a month. When I moved to rural Georgia, I was renting a 2-bedroom house for $325 a month. They didn't check my credit. They gave me the keys the day that they met me. When I moved to San Francisco, California in 1992, you could get a studio apartment for $450 a month. That meant 2 people could put together their welfare checks and get an apartment. One would live in the closet and one would live in the living room. SSI at the time was, I believe, $890 a month. So you could be on SSI and you would still have money to live. So I don't want to hear about how young people are not working hard enough. It's the fucking economy. It's the rent prices. It's the wages.
American society has become unsustainable. The working class doesn't have health care, access to affordable housing, access to cheap groceries. Federal troops are being used in states that aren't their own in order for police enforcement and actions. Public transportation is inaccessible, and used vehicles are so expensive that the average working class person can't afford to even get to work anymore. Credit card and medical debt is at the highest it's ever been. People can't pay back their student loans. Our environment's being exploited. What is the purpose of this society if it can't sustain itself? Why are we depending on billionaires to fund our social programs? When is enough enough?
All right, friends, we need to talk. What are we all like? Is anyone able to afford living at the moment? My friend and I, we have pretty good careers. We're nurses. And I would just say there's like no way that anyone is affording life right now. I don't understand how my coworkers with kids are affording it. Like, there's just no way. Groceries have gone up exponentially. Utilities, the cost of living in general has only gone up over the years, right? And our pay is so, like, our pay increases have been so abysmal compared to what we're expected to pay to live day to day. I feel like the only way I could really, like, save and, actually build a big enough savings to eventually afford a house and kids one day is if I don't leave my house ever and just work 24/7. And if even that, I don't even think I'd be able to afford everything. So what are we doing? Like, I feel like there's just no way that this is sustainable. I don't understand. And like, it's kind of frustrating to go on social media and when every time you log in, you see all these influencers on their like 20th clothing haul or they're on their like 5th brand trip of the year, and I can barely afford one vacation this year. Like, and I think if anything, I'm just going to be doing a local weekend trip down to the Jersey Shore. And like, this is speaking from a single woman in her 30s that is living on her own. And, after a certain point, like, I know some people are like, oh, just move in with your parents and, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, after a certain point, you kind of have to, like, enjoy your life while you're young, because what's my next stage is, like, having kids and stuff. And if I just focused on saving up money to enjoy it, or, like, whatever, to be able to afford having kids in, like, a future, I'm not enjoying my 20s or 30s at all. It's really impossible. So I just feel like this economy is insane. It's only going to get worse with everything, with the political climate right now.
I just took a ride to my local mall. There's a discount store that I go to. And I'm looking around, and there's a big sign that says that the whole mall is for sale because there's really nothing left. We just got notice that we're losing a Dick's, and we already lost Macy's and the other big stores that were in there over the years. But does anybody else feel like we're losing the United States of America? Everything is disappearing. Every store, no Zayres, no Ames, no Hills, no Sears and Roebuck, no Kmart's. What is happening? What I used to know growing up is no longer. Is this social media and AI all worth it? We, America, are disappearing.
I'm hungry, but I can't afford food. Will you help me? Get a job. Okay, I got a part-time job, but I still can't afford food. Will you help me? Work full-time then. Okay, I found a full-time job, but now I lost my health insurance because I make too much. I still can't afford food. Will you help me? No, stop being lazy and get a better job then. Go to college or something. Okay, I took out loans and I went to college like you said, but now I have a bunch of school loans I have to pay back on top of my health insurance. I still can't afford food. Will you help me? It was your choice to take those loans out. Get a job and pay them off like the rest of us. Okay, I was one of the lucky few to get a job in my field after graduating, but now I have to pay for student loans, my health insurance, I lost my food stamps because I make too much, and they take more money out of my paycheck for taxes. I still can't afford food. Will you help me? No, we won't. Well, on one condition. What condition is that? Pop out a kid. What? You're a single person household. We don't really care about you, but if you have a baby, suddenly we have way more assistance available for you. So you're saying I only deserve food in this country if my body is either A, performing labor, or B, in labor? That's correct. Okay, this system seems really broken. No, it's not broken. It's working exactly how we designed it to.
Something is breaking in America, folks, and it's not subtle anymore. Groceries are up 25% since 2020. Housing up 45%. Rent declared unaffordable in 98% of U.S. counties. People aren't downsizing, they're being priced out of existence. Right now, over 1.9 million Americans live in vehicles. That number has tripled since 2018, and it's climbing fast. Not because people want adventure, but because the system stopped working for them. Everyone feels it. The pressure, the squeeze, the quiet collapse in slow motion. But here's the part they don't want to talk about. Nomad life is no longer an alternative lifestyle. It's becoming a survival strategy and a movement. Every single day, thousands more join the road. Not homeless, systemless, not lost, unplugged. If you feel like society is cracking, you're not alone. This is the transition era, and you are watching a new America being built on wheels.